Hello everyone, this is Joel Davis, founder of the United Medical Transportation Providers Group and best-selling author of How to Build a $1 Million Medical Transportation Company. Let me start by thanking and congratulating you on visiting my site. I really am honored and humbled to have you here. It's a great opportunity for you as well as for me. But I want to spend a few minutes underscoring some key points regarding my information and associated materials so it can better serve you. First and foremost, I'm not sure what brought you here. Everybody has different motivations. You might be looking for a new business opportunity, maybe even leaning towards starting a medical transportation business. Maybe you're not 100% sure. Maybe you already own and operate an existing medical transportation business, but you're simply looking for new strategies, tactics, ideas for further growing, diversifying, scaling your existing NEMT business. So again, whatever your motivation is, hey, I'm just glad to have you here. But again, I want to underscore a few key points. First and foremost, if you're in the position where you're just maybe researching, not 100% sure, maybe you're just leaning towards the prospects of really just developing a new source of revenue, maybe some supplementary income. You really don't want to go all in on investing in a medical transportation business, having that capital investment of purchasing the right type of vehicles or equipment, then I'll be honest with you, my material really isn't for you. And again, I welcome the opportunity to work with everybody, but realistically, if you're more or less just looking for a supplementary source of revenue, I'm going to be honest with you, I would realistically kind of steer you towards rideshare. You know, you can go drive for Uber or Lyft, make a little bit of extra money at your convenience, work around your own schedule, your own hours. You won't have the upfront cost of purchasing the right type of vehicles or equipment, and you could just operate your own car. But it's something to consider, and I want you to be realistic and honest with yourself. I don't want to mislead you into anything. The second thing is, and this is a big one because people contact our office regularly, stories of, hey, my brother's in this business, my friend is in this business, my cousin is in this business, and he said, hey, just use your car, get signed up with a Medicaid broker, they're going to feed you trips. Now, I refer to Medicaid as the low-hanging fruit because the rates of reimbursement tend to be the least as compared to what I really espouse to, which is private pay, contracted, and service agreement work. I'm not against Medicaid by all means. I'm not against Medicaid as long as it's profitable and as long as you're very wise in how you structure and leverage your Medicaid work. Let me take a step back and put things into proper perspective for you. The Medicaid industry, it's big. There's no question about that. But realistically, when it comes to the non-emergency medical transportation industry, realistically, of that market space, only about 30% of it is comprised of Medicaid. And yet there's so many client providers out there who really just focus in on Medicaid because they think they're going to get that guaranteed government revenue. They love the idea and the concept that Medicaid brokers can just issue them trips. But again, it's a very vulnerable situation if you build your business to become dependent upon Medicaid broker work. Again, I'm not against it as long as it's profitable. But first and foremost, I would never, ever want you to be one-dimensional. And I see it so often in so many businesses, so many client providers who retain our services. They contact us, retain our services when they finally hit a moment of crisis, i.e., maybe they were contracting with a specific broker, and when that broker loses that contract to another competing broker, well, you, the client provider, you're not guaranteed the same trip volume, the same clients, the same rates of reimbursement. Here's what it really comes down to. When you build your business to be dependent upon Medicaid brokers, that Medicaid broker really serves as what I call the gatekeeper or the toll booth operator. They control all ins and outs, all flow, all direction of the customer, not you. They're really not your customers. So although you may transport people who are on Medicaid, if it is a Medicaid broker that is regulating your flow, the issuance of trips, your acceptance of trips, then they really own the customers, not you. And as I always like to tell people, whoever is closest to the customer wins. I'll say that again. Whoever is closest to the customer wins. And it's kind of common sense because if you have a direct relationship with that customer, you can always offer them new services, have freedom, flexibility. You really cultivate that relationship. Whereas When you have a Medicaid broker that controls the outflow and inflow of trips and volume and customers, you really have no control. You're vulnerable. Furthermore, should those Medicaid brokers, should they make any adjustments in their policies, procedures, maybe they're looking for someone to come in and provide the same level of transportation at a cheaper price point, guess what? You're going to be out. That spigot is going to dry up instantly. So what I espouse is for you to build your business so you are heavily dependent on private pay, on contracted service agreement work. You can supplement your business with Medicaid work, but again, the key word is supplement, as long as it's profitable. So if you really want to build your business so that you are vulnerable and you're dependent upon what I call the low-hanging fruit, i.e. Medicaid brokers, then again, my material honestly really isn't for you. So my material honestly really comes down to what type of business model do you want to have. Now, one thing I always tell people, try to develop your exit strategy before you even start your business. I mean, think about it. You're not going to have this business forever. That's just a fact. You're either going to die, you're going to pass this business on to an heir, you're going to sell it for profit, or you're going to close your doors because you're not profitable. Now, if you build your business so that you are strictly dependent upon Medicaid brokers, the low-hanging fruit, what do you really have to sell? In fact, when I'm working with a lot of different client providers and working with them to buy or sell an existing NEMT business, the least favorable quote-unquote contracts, and I use the operative word contract very loosely because it's really not a contract, but people like to say, I have a contract with a broker. No, you don't. You just have an operating agreement. Big difference from a contract, because that operating agreement doesn't guarantee you trip volume and it doesn't even guarantee you rates of reimbursement. So with that being said, if someone tries to sell a business where they are so heavily dependent on Medicaid brokers, guess what? They're really not selling much of value. And I don't want that. My goal and my aspiration for you is that you build a strong NEMT business that you could eventually sell in the future for a profitable sale. That's my ideal scenario. That's my hope for you. So I want you to be honest with yourself and be realistic. Are you just looking for some additional supplemental information and resources and income? If that's the case, honestly, my material really isn't for you. If you just want to take the path of least resistance and go after the low-hanging fruit and really build your business so that you're dependent on Medicaid brokers and you want to chase only 30% of the market instead of the other 70%, then I would tell you once again, my material, honestly, it's not for you. But if you want to build a dynamic, non-emergency medical transportation business, a strong platform that you can leverage, strong foundation to leverage, so you can build other sources of revenue on top of that to further maximize and take advantage of the growing elderly population, which is going to double by the year 2030. I mean, hey, in fact, take a look at this right now. In fact, this is not from Joel Davis. This comes from the U.S. Census Bureau. Take a look at these numbers. Now, I'm a numbers guy and I'm a visual person. I like to see things in front of me, numbers. Take a look at this right here. Now, as you look at this right here, you could see, according to the U.S. population, what used to be pyramid shape is now what they call pillar or column shaped. So you can clearly see right now, not just the growth of our population in general, but also specifically the elderly population. Now, this is built-in demand. This is built-in demand that absolutely warrants additional support services to help care for our growing seasoned senior population. So our seniors, they're going to need more than just medical transportation. But again, you're here because you're considering starting or expanding an existing medical transportation business. So as you just looked at those numbers and you saw the opportunity, I really ask you, do you really just want to earn a part-time source of revenue? In which case, I would tell you, go drive for rideshare. Are you really just looking to go after the 30% Medicaid or the low-hanging fruit, as I like to call it? If so, you really don't need my information. But if those numbers right there from the U.S. Census Bureau, if they impress you and you see the inherent demand, growing opportunity, and you really want to sink your teeth into this opportunity, then I would tell you a few things. Number one, you could just start with my ebook, How to Build $1 Million Medical Transportation Company. It's really going to teach you the nuts and bolts of this industry, how to get started, and everything to put together for your business. If you know 100% sure you're going to start a medical transportation business, or you want to expand your existing business and you're going to go all in, then I would tell you to even consider investing either in my DVD series or my one-on-one coaching package. Now, if you get my DVD series, you're going to get a free copy of my ebook. And trust me, you need to read the ebook first, because that is the nuts and bolts. That's not going to just introduce you and orient you to the industry. It's going to help you bring everything together. In the DVD series, we're going to do a deep dive. We're going to walk through in detail a Medicaid operating agreement. I'm going to tell you what's good, what's bad. We're going to go into talking about soliciting facilities, how to form those strategic partnerships, so you could start to put your business and your marketing endeavors almost on autopilot, building those strong relationships within your community. So you're a benchmark within your community, so you're not chasing down every single customer one by one. We want to form those strategic partnerships. Now, if you really want to work with me one-on-one, that's awesome. That's always an option. If you go to the product guide, you're going to see the opportunity for one-on-one coaching. If you invest in the one-on-one coaching, guess what? You're going to get a free copy of the ebook to read first. Then you're going to get a free copy of my DVDs. Make sure you study all of them. There's 2 series you're going to get. Make sure you study both series. The first one has 5 discs. The second series has 2. Make sure you study all those DVDs. When you're done, you're going to shoot us a quick email letting us know that you're done. My team is going to send you a questionnaire to get some more information about you, so I can learn of your start point. Then I'm going to reach out to you, and once I reach out to you, that's when our 60 days of coaching is going to start one-on-one. So really, I put this buffet in front of you, and you really get to choose what works best for you. Is it better for you to go up there, just start with my ebook, maybe start with my DVDs, which will include the free ebook? Maybe you want to go all in, start with one-on-one coaching, and get a free copy of that ebook, the DVDs, and working with me. But again, if you're just thinking about it, not 100% sure, maybe this isn't the opportunity for you. If you want to follow the path of least resistance, you don't want to work to cultivate your own clientele, you just want Medicaid to throw you the bones, maybe not have a whole lot of meat on the bones, but enough for you to get by to maybe make some supplemental income, then I would tell you, just sign up with a broker. You really don't need my information. So listen, again, I really can't thank you enough for being here. I actually spoke right now longer than I anticipated, but I really tend to get carried away when I'm talking about something that I'm passionate about. And it just so happens I'm pretty much very passionate about the medical transportation business. I've been in it since the year 2000, so it's been a long time. I've worked with a lot of client providers, and I've seen a lot. So I really enjoy working with client providers. So whichever you choose to do, whether it's start with my ebook, start with the DVDs and the ebook, or even start with the one-on-one coaching, whatever works best for you, I encourage you, spend time on my website. Before you spend a single penny, my hope is that you'll read through the website, watch a lot of my videos. You're going to learn a lot just by watching those videos that I have on this website. Go through the product guide. Learn about the different resources. I always like to use the analogy of the buffet. I'm going to put a buffet in front of you, and you choose what's best for you. What is the best way for you to learn? We all learn differently, so you choose what's best for you. I also encourage you, read through the testimonials. Watch a lot of those videos of client providers who I've worked with, and they're giving video testimonials. Nothing speaks better than what other people say. So I encourage you, listen to all that. Now, I apologize. There's not going to be any timers anywhere on this website. There's not going to be any timers that tell you got to purchase now in the next 30 minutes or it's going to expire. Or if you don't act now, or limited time. There's none of that. Look, I'm going to be here today. I'm going to be here tomorrow. Why? Because we're busy. I'm just going to be honest with you. We're busy. We work with a lot of people. So there's not going to be any hard selling here. If it's one thing I tell my staff, we don't sell. Our materials and this opportunity sell itself. In fact, going back to that U.S. Census Bureau, in fact, I'll put it up on the screen again right now. As you look at this right now, if this doesn't give you motivation for wanting to start a service that allows you to take advantage of the growing population, man, I really don't know what else to advise you, because realistically, the easiest way to make money is to provide a solution to a problem. And when you look at this growing population, it's going to warrant a great deal of support services. And non-emergency medical transportation is one such solution. So again, thanks so much for taking the time to visit my site, watching this lengthy, long-winded video. Again, I apologize, but I do get long-winded when I'm talking about something I'm passionate about. But I do hope you learned something, and I hope you enjoyed it. So listen, I look forward to working with you. When I do work with you, I can assure you of one thing. I'll see you at the top.